win or succeed in everything in life. I identify as the King of England, for example. And these possibilities are so wild that where is the limit? That's why we need to question the whole gender and identity business. Islam offers us that it's not what you think what you are. You are how you were created by God. He's given you. You might feel suddenly like, you know what, you are God yourself. There are people who think they're gods. Pharaoh, he said, I am the greatest of all gods. So people can identify themselves with many things in terms of, you know, what they're not and so on. Islam brings people back to reality. The reality is He created us, and these kind of feelings and inclinations and choices people will have. People will have a choice of attraction to the same gender, attraction to maybe beasts and animal, attraction to toys and trees, whatever. But God is saying, okay, you need to resist these attractions. Imagine somebody says, just imagine, I don't feel myself, I cannot control myself, but to kill. It's all within me, it's programmed. I was born that way. I cannot but go and rape a woman. I cannot do it, it's just me. So why are you going to blame me for it? Because that's me. Where does it stop? Islam is saying, yeah, some people may have psychopathic, for example, a psychopath may have these kind of feelings and inclinations and desires. It says, no, stop these and resist and fight those desires. And it gives you the mechanism for how to fight it. So unfortunately, because today, like an intelligent woman like yourself are agreeing to the societal liberal pressures of normalizing this, what's going to happen is, in the future, we won't be able to say no, because by legislation they will say, no, you can't, and then you can't rectify someone who thinks he's a cat and who wants to eat cat food only. You can't do that. By law, you will be punished if you wanted to even encourage that individual and says, you're not feline, you're not cat, you'll be punished for that, because you're infringing on their identity. This is a mundane example. Yeah? So if we kept on allowing this liberal societal, the way it's going ahead, I'm foreseeing a future which is not very nice. Yeah? Islam puts us in a hudud, called a boundary.
Step ahead is what you're saying.
Step ahead, because homosexuality
my friend.
was
Islam
in not too far away from this place.
Why are you pushing me? How dare you push me?
Brother,
Mister,
can you leave me alone?
Look here. Islam is
Excuse me.
Why are you pushing me?
Come this way. Come this way. It's okay.
Let me ask you.
You're fasting?
Let me ask you a question.
Say I'm fasting.
Why?
Right, come here in this way. MashaAllah. Problem solved.
Why Islam is discriminating women by not going in a paradise? Islam is putting a woman in hellfire. Why is that? Why is that?
Right, to continue, as you were saying, firstly,
answer the question first.
in the Quran,
Answer the question
God
first.
says, "Al-mu'mineen wal-mu'minat." Shall I give you the verse? It gives you a black and white statement of believing men and believing women, righteous men and righteous women. The ones who is the one who men and women.
That's false.
Sorry, can I?
That's false.
That was actually my next question. I'm coming from a place of curiosity because I don't understand. I want to understand your religion.
Fine. So I'm trying to explain to you. So
I
I'm
want
just
to
going
understand your approach to women.
Yeah, exactly. Let me show you what the Quran says about this. You can show the brother.
Molestation of children.
I'll give you the Arabic and the English translation.
Sorry, I don't read
No.
that.
The Quran is not in English, but in Arabic. Just to highlight and you will hear the difference of the words. إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما. Surely the men who submit and the women who submit, and the believing man and the believing woman, and the obeying man and the obeying woman, and the truthful man and the truthful woman, and the patient man and the patient woman, and the humble man and the humble woman, and the alms-giving man and the alms-giving woman, and the fasting man and the fasting woman, and the men who guard their private parts and the women who guard, and the men who remember Allah much and the women who remember. Allah has prepared for them forgiveness and a mighty reward. Paradise. So it is incorrect and a lie in speaker's Quran to say women are not going to go to paradise. God not only specify, He even said like men and women, this man, all of us. So God has created us with different roles and responsibilities. In His sight, the reward is the same. The obligation to believe in Allah and love and respect Him is the same. How you look on you is the same. You may have more of a responsibility, and in fact, you may have more respect than the father. At one point, a man came and asked our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, who deserves more from my mother or the father in respect and so on. The very vague statement includes everything, right? It's not just respect in only speaking, but everything, how you dealing with trust. He says, you know what Prophet said? Your mother. The man said, and then who? He said, your mother.
The rapist.
And then who?
The pedophile.
He says, your mother. Look what man is thinking. SubhanAllah. Between the father and mother, he's saying, your mother. And then who says, your father. So here from what we understand, because the mom and dad, even though they're parents, God has given certain roles and responsibilities which are different. So how we appreciate our mother and so on, how mom, we are not even able to repay a single second of pain she endured while we were pregnant, while she was pregnant with us in her womb. The pain in childbirth that she suffered because of us. The pain when we were crying, we couldn't even change our diapers or our nappies, and she cleaned us, looked after us, and she would. This love of mother, if you look at the creation, how so God is saying this is how you can respect. In fact, there is a hadith in a metaphor, in a figurative way. Paradise lies under the feet of your mother. Not literally, just to show you the respect mother deserves.
Why Muhammad is having a problem with women?
So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam described women in the way that is deserving of her respect.
The women, those who are menstruating, will not go to the paradise.
You're interrupting. And I don't want to speak to you. Thank you.
Come on.
I don't want to speak to you. I'm speaking to this lady here, if you don't mind.
So you don't want to
hear
the truth?
Would you respect me
So
if I don't want to
you
speak
don't
to
want
you?
to hear the truth.
I don't want to speak to you. Is that
You
okay?
don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to hear the truth.
This is an example from nowhere.
You don't want to hear the truth.
If you don't mind, I don't want to speak to you.
You don't want to hear the truth.
This is just
Is it hurting you?
Sorry.
Is the truth hurting you?
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the man
Muhammad himself said, the woman will not enter into paradise because they are menstruating. They are menstruating.
I will ask the question. What is the attitude towards menstruating women?
menstruated women should not be harmed. So they should not, you men who are husbands of menstruating women should not have sexual intimacy when she is in menstruation, because that would be a harm, a physical harm as well. Not only just hygienic thing, stay away of sexual intimacy when she's menstruating. Once it's other, they ask you, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ. They ask you about mahid menstruation. Say, this is other.
Takiya.
Allah says in the Quran,
I'll bring it.
ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض ولا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن فإن تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين.
Yeah. And they ask you about menstruation. Say, it's harm, other.
To you, Muhammad.
So keep away from the wives during menstruation. And do not approach them until they're pure, meaning they're already finished and clean. And do not approach them until they're pure, and when they have purified themselves, then come to them from where Allah has ordained for you. Indeed, Allah loves those who are constantly repentant and love those who are purifying themselves.
The next one.
نساؤكم
نساؤكم حرث لكم فأتوا حرثكم أن شئتم وقدموا لأنفسكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم ملاقوه وبشر المؤمنين.
Your women are a piece of cultivation, because this is where you have your next generation.
That's an insult.
Your offspring comes from them for you. So come to your place of cultivation however you wish and put forth for yourself. And fear Allah and know that you will meet Allah and give good tidings to the believers. So it doesn't say, like some people like things like menstruation means women are totally impure and so on.
Not some people. Your
It's simply
prophet.
saying,
Your
because we
prophet.
know when people are in their
prophet
menses, in their
says.
periods, there
Don't
are a
lie,
lot of
please.
emotional,
Don't lie.
psychological stress all associated with this. And
Don't
With
pray.
that woman.
Don't
yeah,
pray.
oh yes, subhanAllah, that's the point. If people, women, are in their menstruation, they're exempt from fasting, exempt from even praying. They can make this up later.
Open it up now.
That's why they cannot enter in paradise.
Now, I don't know what this gentleman is saying. I don't know. Is there
You can leave the hecklers.
Come on, your
Job of a
prophet,
heckler.
your prophet is saying this.
I just showed you what the Quran says about women.
Cannot enter into paradise because they are menstruating. Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim.
There is an
Sahih
obvious
Bukhari, Sahih Muslim.
issue with that passage. What's the issue? That is like below
It's not you only. All Muslims, they are liars. They are liars. Even
Purity is about the
even
their
the prophet
menses.
as well.
It's talking about don't approach them until they have
Biggest
purified
lie.
themselves.
Biggest lie.
How you purify themselves is through
It's the
bath.
biggest lie of.
That's what it's asking. You haven't had the ritual bath.
And he left his daughter
When you're finished
to
with
enjoy muta.
So
He
you're not
left his daughter to
impure
enjoy
in the
muta.
sense that like you're najas, you're like filth. That's what the Quran is describing. The Quran is saying you cannot approach her with the sexual intimacy until it's ended and they have come out of this by having a bath.
Thank you. I've got one final question before I go. Why is it that the oppression of women, and I can possibly anticipate a response, which is that what these people are doing is separate from what the Quran says they should be doing, right? Possibly that's your response. But my question is, why is it that there is a higher propensity of oppression of women, lack of education, that sort of thing, you know what I mean, within Islamic countries? Why is it that Islamic countries are able to accept that and not feel the need to progress?
Very good question. Firstly, it is not correct to say Islam oppresses women in terms of education and their progression.
I should say I'm making a clear distinction between what the Quran says and what people do.
Yeah. I'm giving you a broader understanding from the source itself. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, says, طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة in some riwayat, or كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Seeking knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim. There are some narrations which talks about men and women.
This word in the Quran.
Read
ربك
the way.
الذي خلق.
Brother, that's right. So the Prophet said, it's an obligation. The religion that we have today, you'll be surprised, the knowledge of the religion is transmitted by a lot of people, if not most of our religion. Aisha radiallahu anha transmitted, so much of the knowledge of our religion. If I were to ask you from any culture for the last 1,000 years, let's go back, say, 200 years, in 18th century to 1,000 years. Let us find out women scholars in every society, every culture, and their contribution. You will struggle to find and to name women scholars, scientists, philosophers, and so on throughout the world. But you'll be surprised to hear in Islam, if you were to ask me now, I can give you 30-volume work.
I'm actually not surprised. I know that about Islam.
So I'm just telling you, 30-volume work of Muslim sahabiyat, of women who contributed to knowledge, civilization, and so on and so forth, and passing this knowledge. The first university in the world, in Morocco, was by someone called Fatima, a woman, from, of course, an Islamic background. She's Muslim. So Islam never discouraged women from learning and to preach. As I said, many scholars today, they have women teachers where they have to get the certificate from, because they are the top ones are the women. And that continued. What happened is, as many societies, Islamic lands, it's a long history. Islam got, as a state level, spliced by imperial forces from different others, France, Britain, and from the 1924, I think, last or something, right? And they instigated puppet regimes, puppet rulers, and so on. And the whole idea was, yes, we will let you have your state back, but in our terms, they will do what we ask them to do. So there were puppet regimes. So they corrupted the education system and instilled in a system which is secularized, non-Islamic, and that's why the product was there, coming from generation after generation. If you go to Emirates now in some countries in the Middle East, the majority of the people are women scholars studying at university. Are women. Majority of them educated and women. Some countries like Afghanistan, which is the scapegoat in the media, they're not sending women to education and so on. That's their particular way of thinking and their approach they're doing. Islam never discouraged, as you said. They have taken a stand. I don't want to defend them, I don't want to criticize them because it's an isolated case. But everywhere else, Islam doesn't discourage, rather it encourages you. It makes you obligatory, as I said. It is obligatory on every Muslim to acquire knowledge. The scholars would say the first and foremost obligation is about religious knowledge.
But women
and
in
then secondly,
Iran, they are protesting.
That's another scapegoat example about Iran, right? Because Iran is another regime in which their particular understanding of Islam and so on has compromised, the position of women and so on and so forth.
They are not
So what we are seeing rather is examples which are an isolated case. These are those that skews the data. Yeah. Whenever we look at data, these data discriminators, these are, what's the term in statistics? I've forgotten, it escapes me. You can't use this to normalize the data. We know their regimes, their particular understanding of Islam has corrupted or made it into be like that. But if you study the Islamic history in terms of approach to how women should be they be oppressed or should they be educated? You will see it's the opposite.